Compared, I just watched it again for the first time in a very long time, but compared to Straight Outta Compton, what were your thoughts on the Tupac biopic?
I couldn't stand it.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan, man.
Dude, it came out right behind Straight Outta Compton. I'm like, me and Adrian went to go see it together. I'm like, damn, they made you out to be a buster. I mean, they made me out to be a hater, but I was a good hater in the movie, okay? But they just
they made Adrian out to be a buster. You're right. I was like, damn, okay.
And I knew Adrian long before he met Tupac. Adrian ain't never been no buster, okay? Never. Just on the strip. Adrian's a black belt in karate, man.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, he ain't no joke. He ain't no joke, and he ain't no small dude either. Okay, so for him to get portrayed like a buster and this guy walk, no, that didn't. And then just the storyline was kind of weak. It was very weak. I think they just saw opportunity to take advantage of something, jumped on it, and did it, and just to make some quick money. They knew it was going to get some fanfare. And by the time people realized the movie wasn't all that great, they would have moved on to something else. They'd have been paid.
Yeah, I thought the actor looked really very much like Tupac. Even had some of his mannerisms with the walk, but the story around it, I was just not. It wasn't doing it for me.
It was weak. I've seen better.
Yeah. But speaking of gangster, you mentioned in the past that sometimes in the music biz, you gotta be, quote, gangster. What is some of the gangster shit that Lonzo had to do back in the day that you may or may not be proud of to make it through the music industry?
When you saw, there was a scene in Straight Outta Compton, you saw Cube tear up Brian Turner's office. I did that 3-4 years before he did to Michel'le. Don McMillan ripped off a bunch of my records and turned off the lights. We was leaving Michel'le, and I went there on a Monday. It was about 20,000 copies that turned off the lights in there. I'd already called distributors up because I ain't never been just an artist. I'm a businessman. Record's still hot, but he called them back in. And so I told him, I'm going to come pick them records up on Wednesday. I go back there on Tuesday. Half of them is gone. Where my records at? Oh, I had to scrap them. You ain't scrapped that many records in no one day. It didn't happen. As I'm leaving the office, mad as hot as fish grease, his secretary said, so I called her back. Your records are on Alameda and wherever it was. So I go down there, and sure enough, they unloading my shit. Man, I went back to Don's office the next morning, and I told Unknown what happened. Unknown called Don and said, man, I don't know what you did to Lonzo, but he's coming to get you. He's coming to get you today, okay? And you deserve it because I know you stole his records. I walked into his office. He was on the phone. I snatched the phone out of his hand, slammed the phone on the desk. I need my damn money for my records. I'm trying to be good these days. I'm working on the sponsorships. I can't do a bunch of cussing. I need my MF money for my records. I don't want to hear it. Don kept a set of golf clubs in his office. I grabbed a 9-iron and started teeing off on his damn desk. Teed off on everything, the TV set, the radio, the bookcase. And all of a sudden, money started flying at me. He started throwing stacks of money at me. And I looked. It's about $5,000. I'm mad. I'm pissed off. I'm going to take this for right now, damn it. I'm coming back tomorrow, get my records and the rest of my money. Came back the next day with a truck, got the rest of my records and some more money. Yeah, let him know I don't play. And Unknown had me laughing, man. Lonzo was really upset. I'd never seen him like that before. You pissed him off. Now, see, nobody else would know that story but me and Unknown. Dre wouldn't know that story. Yella don't know that story. And again, nobody knows that story but me and Unknown. But me and my cousin is dead now. So we had to go and load the truck up. It was his truck. We loaded up the next day, got my money, and got my records. And I still got Turn Off the Lights right to this day. I still sell Turn Off the Lights. I stopped selling them so fast on purpose. I'm kind of holding about 100 of them back, still in the cellophane sleeves, and I just had about 50 of them signed by Shakespeare and Yella. And so you got 3 out of 5 signatures. You got to get Dre's and Michel'le's on your own. You got me and Yella and Shakespeare. But you can get Yella and Michel'le and Dre, you got a collector's item. We give you 3 out of 5. Real talk. But yeah, Doc, that's just one of the things they had to do, man. I mean, dealing with the record business, man, you got to be real careful. You know, guys you think that's not gangsters, be killers for real. For real. I was talking about this the other day. A brother I met at a studio up in Hollywood. We were just kicking it. I met this brother, and we just got to vibing, man, and everything was cool. And he was Steve Arrington's manager. I met Steve Arrington. Me and Steve got to kicking it. I've always been a Slave fan. I was a big fan of Steve Arrington. I got a chance to sit in the studio and kick it with him, man, for like 3-4 hours. We just chopping up like old friends, man. And Monday, homeboy didn't come to the meeting. Well, shit, that night he was on the news. He was known for smoking people. He was dude. He looked just as calm as me and you. Cool dude, just was not to be messed with. And he out of jail now, so I ain't gonna call this. He long enough to be out. I'm not gonna get into that. But this is the kind of stuff that I had to go through. Dre didn't know about this right. Yellow know about this right here. This is real stuff, man. This dude, I ain't gonna say about it. I ain't gonna get into it on YouTube. But he was a real active cat in the real gangsters of America. Very active dude. And he got caught. He raided his house that Monday morning, and he was facing 99 years. I think he did like 25 or 26. He got out of jail though. He's out. That's how long ago it was.
You know, speaking of having to be a gangster sometime in the music biz, to let people know they just can't take advantage of you, this may be a good time to discuss a story that we haven't talked about in quite some time, at least a few years. But tell us the Compton's Most Wanted story. I think it took place in San Bernardino or something like that.
Fontana.
Tell us that one.
Man, I've always had an open door policy in my studio. I've always worked with a lot of different guys. And I let this one guy come in my studio. I know him. He played in one of the bands I was working with. And Slip came in, Big Slip from Sound Control Mob came in right behind him. He says, "Hey, man, I got these guys. I want to do a compilation album. And if you do it in the studio, we'll put it on your label. I'll produce everything. All you got to do is have us at the studio and buy the tape. That's a good deal." So Homeboy is supposed to be here in the morning, and Slip was going to be at night, and we had to change the shifts around. When Slip came in the morning, Homeboy come in at night. So the night before Slip was supposed to come in the studio, like always, I hear rumbling in the studio because my bedroom is right. I share walls with the studio. So if you guys are there playing or rustling around too loud, I hear it. I didn't think nothing about it. Next morning, the studio Slip come to the pad, and I was in a hurry, so I just came up, opened the studio door. Hey man, I'm gonna take a shower.